This week, I'm gonna learn how to wake up without an alarm clock. Oh yeah, it's happening. The biggest reason I'm doing this challenge is because of this one sound. I know you guys can all relate to this because it sucks every morning when you hear it. It destroys your mojo. When I say it destroys my mojo, it really destroys my mojo. It makes me cranky for the rest of the day. And I know it's not gonna be easy. I've been using an alarm clock since I started school. So it's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worth it. Also, I haven't played in this playground in 10 years. So I thought it would be fitting with this whole childlike curiosity of mine to shoot the intro here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So where I'm gonna start is this concept I learned from high school, which was this idea of sleep cycles. So when you're going to bed, your brain doesn't just lay there. It's going through waves of light sleep and deep sleep. So when you first fall asleep, your brain enters a period of light sleep. Then it dips all the way down to something called deep sleep, aka REM sleep, or this is where dreams happen. Then your brain heads back into a light sleep. This 90-minute cycle repeats as long as you're in bed. To simplify all of this, light sleep is when you can easily be woken up, whereas deep sleep, it's harder to wake up. And depending on how much you sleep every night, you should go through 4 to 5 cycles. So for this experiment, I'm gonna try to use this concept of sleep cycles to figure out a way to wake up in the morning during my light phase of sleeping. There's an app that can help us called Sleep Cycle that can essentially measure your sleep at night. Yeah, it's insane. So pretty much all you have to do is set the time you're gonna wake up in the morning, and then put your phone by your bed. And the way it measures your sleep is through how much you move. So when you're in lighter sleep, you tend to move more in bed compared to when you're in deep sleep. So ideally, the app wakes you up between a 30-minute range when you're entering light sleep. And when I'm waking up in the morning when I'm really tired, there's a high probability that it's happening because I'm in that deep phase of sleep instead of the light phase of sleep. And this app makes you wake up while you're in lighter sleep so that you feel more refreshed in the morning, which is an added bonus. It's the next day and I actually used the sleep cycle last night, and you can take a look here. This app kind of shows you pretty much everything you need to know about sleep cycles. So it looks like I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 sleep cycles, which is a really good way of indicating that I got a really good night of sleep. It also shows you what time the phone woke me up. So it woke me up at 4:57 instead of 5. So that's when it indicated that I was at the most light part of my sleep cycle. And this is really funny. You can actually hear my snore. You hear that? Now that I know the basic understanding of my sleep cycle, I can actually use it to my advantage. So I can actually time it correctly, going to bed every single night, so then I can get my 4 to 5 sleep cycles. So I wake up every single morning right when I'm in my light sleep. And I was actually kind of thinking about this. So I go to bed at 10 o'clock every night and I wake up at 5. So that's 7 hours of sleep. So you might think that's actually a lot of sleep, but if you account for the 90-minute sleep cycle throughout the night, I'm actually waking up at 5 right when I'm in deep sleep, which makes a lot of sense since I need an alarm clock in the morning, and I also feel really groggy and tired at 5 a.m. So technically you could go to sleep at 11 o'clock at night and get 4 cycles of sleep if you wake up at 5 and not feel tired in the morning, but again, it's 6 hours of sleep and that's not enough for me. So I'm just gonna ignore that and stick with 9:30. So in the last 3 days, I've been able to wake up at 4:50, 4:56, 4:53 without an alarm clock, which was amazing. Some of the things I've done is actually the night before, where I've kind of stimulated my brain to get into that headspace of I need to go to sleep. So there was a hard shut off of all technology by 9 o'clock. I would brush my teeth, I would take a warm shower, I would get in bed and read a book. And those things combined got me into this space of feeling sleepy and falling asleep at a certain time, and it was really successful. But now I'm gonna further extend this stimulus of mine even a few hours before I go to sleep, and we're gonna see how that goes. Before I go any further, I have to say this. I failed at this challenge. I mean, it took me literally 3 weeks. That's why I haven't posted a video. I haven't been able to figure this whole thing out, and there's a lot of reasons why I haven't been able to make this happen successfully. The last 3 weeks, my girlfriend visited me, so me and her have completely different sleep schedules, so that means I can't go to sleep exactly at the same time. And along with all of my part-time work and my freelancing, I just couldn't get it done. And I was really debating not posting this video until I just thought about this concept of the habit cycle, you know, the cue, the response, and the reward. And what I was trying to do with this challenge was actually harness that concept to wake up at 5 a.m. without an alarm clock. But I realized when I was trying to do the cue and life happened, a lot of interesting things did come up that are really beneficial. So that's what this video is going to be about now. This whole curiosity and challenge lasted over a span of 3 weeks, and after me successfully failing at this curiosity, I've learned 3 things. The first one is I need to stop being hard on myself. We need to really look at things in terms of long-term progress and seeing what were the areas that you improved in while you're trying to achieve the main big thing. What I mean by that is look at the byproduct of what you're trying to achieve. So even though I failed at this challenge, some of the byproducts that came out of this was questions and things I've tried to slowly improve on. So some of the questions I asked myself, what's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning? Do I go for my phone or do I get a cup of water and drink it first? Did I give myself a chance to center myself before I enter the world of craziness? Are you finding ways to stay active throughout the day? Am I walking enough? Do I read full-length books or do I read articles? Do I have an evening routine before I go to bed? All of these are byproducts of the ultimate goal, which is to wake up in the morning without an alarm clock. The second thing I've learned is that life happens. No matter what I try to do in my day-to-day life, to improve it, to optimize it, to make myself more productive, to be more mindful, to be constantly curious about the world, life happens. So for example, I'm gonna show you guys this. All the other challenges I've done in the past, one being waking up at 5 a.m. every single day, I did it for 2 months straight, and then I kind of fell off the wagon for a little bit, and now I'm slowly trying to get back into it. My video about minimalism, see, my background looks super clean, but that's only for the sake of my video. All my junk is here, and even though I'm trying to keep it minimal, I'm just stuffing a lot of stuff into a bin, and I need to work on my minimalism skills again. My video about being plastic conscious and constantly being aware about how I'm using my plastic and throwing it away correctly, well, look at this. This is my plastic bin from my previous video. I have it filled up, but I haven't thrown any of the paper or the plastic away. So everything happens, life happens. And what I'm trying to get at here is that no matter how hard you might work towards optimizing your life, you might get there, but then you might fall short. But that's okay, because the whole point of this whole challenge is to kind of showcase that life progresses and you have to constantly keep building on what you've accomplished from the other previous milestones, if that makes sense. And building on point number 2, point number 3 is that you have to get back on it. So the next 2 days, personally for me, I have an opportunity to go to bed early, to have that night ritual, to wake up at a reasonable time and have that morning ritual, to kind of get my system back into the headspace of let's try to wake up without an alarm clock. And there's a very good possibility I'll be making another video of me successfully waking up at 5 a.m. without an alarm clock and being okay with the progress I've made. It might take me 3 weeks, it might take me a year, but I am not going to stop until I hit it. Hey, what's up guys? I am so sorry I wasn't able to accomplish this curiosity this week. It took me 3 weeks to try to figure out a way to actually make this happen, and then just so many things happened in the last 3 weeks that I just wasn't able to quite fully make it successful. And I wasn't going to just not do this video and publish it because I think there's a really valuable lesson here. I think it's really important to continuously keep improving on goals that we might have in our lives, but also recognizing that it's going to take time and it's okay to have setbacks like I've had in the last 3 weeks. And I'm going to say this again, which is whatever I've accomplished in the last 3 weeks, there are some good byproducts of me doing this challenge. Even though I failed, I'm going to take those good things and kind of continuously build on top of those things, because I think that's where the growth happens. That's where success comes from. So that's the biggest message of all of this. So it might not be the most normal curiosity culture video, but I think it was probably one of my more important videos I've created. So I will see you guys in the following few weeks, maybe a week. I have no idea. My schedule is all over the place right now, but I'm okay with it because cool things are coming, guys.